But without any further ado, my friend, Pete Dominick.
Is this on? Is this microphone working? Is this on? Yes? Do you hear me? Okay. All right. Please keep it going for my father. I kid, Andrew, but he does turn 50 in 2 weeks. So, yes. Before I get started introducing our panel, I just want to quickly say, no one told me that we were doing breast cancer awareness. I didn't know. So I came from New York. I didn't bring anything pink. So here I am today at the luncheon, and I see, where's Karen Morian from the United Faculty, United Faculty of Florida. Where are you, Karen? Wherever Karen is. Karen literally gave me the sweater off of her back today. And yeah. It was super awkward at lunch for her to be there half naked, but I thought it was such a generous gesture. I kid. She had a button-down shirt on, and which is why I got the idea. And I just want to say, Karen, we are sorry for what happened to your name. I just want to say, Karen, you are one of the good ones. Wherever you are, one of the good Karens. You guys, stay with me. Stay with me. It's so great to be back in Florida. I've been avoiding Florida because of your governor. But I am very excited to be back here with you, especially because the FEA holds a special place in my heart. I've been working with you guys for years now, and all year, the last 2 years, I've been so inspired because you guys are like the Navy SEALs of educators. You guys are under fire, and I want you to know the nation is watching, and we appreciate you, we love you, and I am so inspired by everything that you guys have had to put up with and do. Thank you very much. So, now let's meet our panel. Are you ready to meet our panel? We're going to be bringing people up here. I'm going to introduce them like game show style or the beginning of a game style. All right, here we go. Let's meet our panelists we're very excited to have. First, she has worked as and by the way, I'm not looking at Instagram or Snap. My notes are on my phone. If I'm looking down, I'm not that teenager. She has worked as a paraeducator at ESE Learning Center for 17 years. Her mother was a paraeducator. Her grandmother was a librarian. They inspired her to become a teacher. She earned her associates in early childhood education from Polk State College and is currently earning her bachelor's degree in elementary education and special ed from Grand Canyon University. Please give it up for Carrie Walker, everybody. Carrie, come on. Come on. Come on. That's Carrie. Yeah. Thank you, Carrie. Yes. I like the music. He is a professor of music theory at Florida State University, also vice president and member of some Tallahassee people here, some Seminoles, of the bargaining team for UFF FSU chapter. His research focuses on Broadway musicals and on the theory and analysis of 20th and 21st century concert music, my old job. He's president-elect of the Society for Music Theory, the North American Scholarly Society in his field. He's previously served as vice president. I can't say enough about this guy. He has a master's, a bachelor's, and a doctorate. Ladies and gentlemen, he's taught at the faculties of Indiana University, University of Iowa, now at Florida State University, Dr. Michael Buckler! Michael Buckler, everybody! Yes. Michael, thank you for getting dressed up. I demanded open-toed shoes, and you came through, sir. You always do. Thank you for that. They gave a tight shot of your feet, which is one of the worst moments of my career. But we're not talking. Let's move on. The comedy will come later, and I hope Michael sits in front. Okay, he is the president of the Okeechobee County Education Association. Come on, Okeechobee, where are you? Okay, they're quiet. Yahoo! He also serves the Florida Education Association Executive Board as the president of Small Locals, born and raised in the rural town of Okeechobee. First generation American of Mexican descent, first Hispanic president in OCA history, and he graduated from Okeechobee High School He went to Lynn University in Boca Raton, earned his bachelor's, focused on secondary education. We are very excited to have him. He is an 8th grade teacher teaching American history at Osceola Middle School. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jorge Botello. All right, and we are very excited also to have now, did I read it wrong? Oh, I've got it. The proud product of Duval County Public Schools, a recent Spring 21 graduate of Florida A&M, where he graduated with a bachelor's in elementary education. No stranger to the FEA. He is a student FEA president for 2.5 years, currently works in higher education at Florida A&M University. Student Affairs Director. We are very excited to have him joining us. He's going to begin his master's program in educational leadership, and his overall goal is able to assist kindergarten through college students and academically, socially, and emotionally. Ladies and gentlemen, Jairus Williams is here! And finally, and last but certainly not least, she has the most seniority of our panel. She's a native Floridian, educated in public schools in Florida, a graduate of the University of West Florida, a proud former employee of the St. Lucie County School Board in Fort Pierce, Florida, where she taught kindergarten, 2nd grade, media specialist, retired president of St. Lucie Classroom Classified until president, and she served and attended state and national conventions, currently serving on the executive board at her local retired chapter, executive cabinet, retired board member, District 8, and her greatest hobby is continuing to serve and being the greatest jelly and jam spread maker. Ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa Tillman! Give it up for our panel! Keep it going, everybody! And for yourselves, have a seat, everyone. All right, get comfortable, and you can take your masks off to talk, put them up, whatever, we don't want anybody getting ill, but I'm very excited and honored to be moderating this panel. We'll go about 30 minutes or so, and we will learn a lot, be inspired, and maybe have a little fun. I asked the panelists to prepare a couple answers, and we just want to have just fun to get everybody comfortable and introduce you to them. I asked ahead of time for each one of our panelists to share with us so that we could judge them, their favorite dessert. Carrie, your favorite dessert. Did you get my email?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Do you want to pass? You want to come back? Do you not have a you want to come back? Okay. Nobody reads my emails. Michael, Dr. Buckler, what is your favorite dessert?
The most chocolate ice cream there is.
You want all the chocolate ice cream?
All the chocolate. I mean, the most chocolatey ice cream.
The most chocolatey of ice cream?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well. Does anybody can help him after? We know what he likes. Jorge.
Is that my voice? Wow.
That's you. That's Jorge.
I mean, what's up? So,
the microphone doesn't change your voice, Jorge.
Are you sure about that?
Hello?
Hold on. Let me see. Allo. Okay. Favorite dessert's got to be banana pudding. Lots of vanilla wafers, though. Like, just on top, all over. Banana pudding, vanilla wafers.
Who makes that the best?
Honestly, the best banana pudding I ever came from a really small place that I used to work at in high school called the Meat Shop. It was made by this
my understanding is that you just said the best banana pudding you've ever had
in
came from a
Okeechobee.
place called the Meat Shop.
The Meat Shop.
Is that right?
Yes. It's an Okeechobee thing. You gotta know. If you know, you know.
We're going to have to ask you to leave. Banana pudding. Okay, Jairus, what is your favorite dessert?
I'm gonna go with carrot cake. Carrot cake.
Well, I thought that'd be more controversial, but I am down south. I guess carrot cake is. Vanessa, you are our senior member here. You have the most sway on the panel. So your word on everything matters, I think, probably the most. What is your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert is vanilla cake with chocolate frosting. And I make it myself.
Have you ever been to the meat shop?
Not this year.
Would you like to join me after? Okay, listen, stop it. All right, let's get serious and let's have a conversation, shall we? And wait, Carrot, you have time?
Okay.
What do you got?
So it's someone of my husband's that they make, it's a sour cream pound cake. So I have a covenant recipe for sour cream pound cake.
I'm gonna leave. Sour cream pound cake? Mm-hmm. That is original. Michael's like, I'll take chocolate ice cream, please. Okay, so let's get to know you guys a little bit. My first big question really is, I gave everybody an introduction, but just briefly, if we can, because we want to make sure we all get time here, you all get time here, what you do, and even better, why you do it. And I'll mix this up with you, but I'm going to start with Jorge. Jorge, okay. You are, we hung out last night, Jorge and I did. We took a long walk.
We're supposed to go in number order, you know.
But
all right.
You teach history.
I try.
You teach patriotic history, or I'm kidding.
It depends on who's in the room and who's listening.
Yes. Well played.
All right, so what was the question?
What do you teach, and why do you get out of bed to do that every day?
So it's really good that you got to ask me that question this year. I teach American history. I teach from the Age of Exploration to about the Civil War. And the reason why I do it is because I just love seeing the kids when I'm telling this story. I love how captivated they are in the lesson. I love hearing them discuss these things that we're talking about. And more importantly, I just love that with every class and every generation of kids that I teach, I know that I'm at least putting out maybe 130, 140 properly educated kids about history. So one day we'll finally get everything set right in motion. Someone's got to teach them. Got to teach them right.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that answer. Michael, what about you? You have a PhD, you know everything about music. You once taught a Marxist, what is this that you did? This thing you told me, this hilarious interpretation of Newsies, Disney's Newsies.
Yeah, I did over the summer a Marxist reading of Newsies, which is kind of a fairy tale about unions.
Oh, really?
It celebrates the single solitary victor.
Oh, well, I guess you can do that if you have tenure.
Yeah. For now, at least. Until House Bill 233, and
well, let's not talk about that yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. What is it that drives you to teach music to young people?
A lot of things, and it's different at the undergraduate level and the graduate level. What my undergraduates think is music theory sounds like a very esoteric topic, and my undergraduates sometimes think it's scales and chords and key signatures and things like that. But at core, it's getting them to understand that music communicates, and what we do is we try to figure out how it is that music communicates. What can we say through music? How can we make points through music? What doesn't music do as well? And what kinds of things are difficult to know? So that gets to the graduate level, and that's where I have a really good time just collaborating with my students and figuring out what we don't know.
I cannot imagine what the graduate level is like. I never got there. That's awesome. I love it. I want to hear more about that. Jairus, you, for some reason, work with very young kids, kindergarten-age kids. Why would you do that? They're very difficult, hard to understand. They probably don't like wearing masks. What drives you? What do you do, and why do you do it?
So right now I'm working with college students at Florida A&M University. But I also am in the process of working day-to-day with our K through 12 students that are connected to Florida A&M University at our developmental research school. And I go down there day-to-day, and really what drives me with working with them is the smiles. Their faces light up when they get a chance to understand something. First comes the tears. I don't understand it. I can't do this. I can't. No, calm down, breathe. Let's do this. And then once they finally are able to understand and grasp the concept, that is what drives me, keeps me going. And I will say it was hard during COVID, especially interning during a hybrid classroom where you have 25 students, half of them are in class and half of them are virtual. It was hard, but still being able to see the excitement of when they understand something and grasp that concept, it's really something that keeps you going. And then even from my college students that I'm working with at FAM, it's almost in a sense of I'm working with kindergartners at one point, and then I'm working with incoming freshmen, 2 different age groups, but have the same similarities. When they don't understand something, they're crying, upset, things of that nature, but still, hey, you're not in this alone. We got this, let's do this, let's point you in the right direction, boom. Now, their faces light up. And that's really breathtaking when you see 18, 19-year-olds coming into college. Their parents are, hey, I'm excited for you. I want you to continue to go to college, but at the same time, too, they're kind of stressed out. But me being that driving factor to help them, hey, come sit in my office, let's work this out. That's what really keeps me going day to day.
I love it. What a great answer. Because you're, so good with these young kids. Have you thought about lobbying the Florida State Legislature?
That's a battle.
Sit them down on the carpet in a circle.
That's a battle. That's a battle.
Vanessa, you had an amazing career. How many years were you in? Talk about your service and how you look back at it, and what was the most, the driving point for you?
I did 38 years
38.
Public education. My driving force has always been making a difference in others' lives and being a voice for the voiceless. I come from a family, my parents had 7 children, so I was the mediator at all times. I tried to direct them, so therefore I figured I was good to direct others too. So I did it, and I did it well. But having taught kindergarten, 2nd grade, and then media, but I've enjoyed my whole career, let me just say it like that. I never was to the point that I didn't like what I was doing. So I guess my driving force was always a song I heard at an early age. If I can help someone as I pass along, then my living will not be in vain. And then always having a creative mind to try to do something different. Now that I'm retired, as you said earlier, I'm a jelly jam spread maker. I combine different fruits, and just create something different. Somebody's always giving me something to try out. And when I try it out, I like to share it. Of course, at some point in time, there's a profit margin to look for, but I enjoy doing it. That's the joy of it all. And I enjoy inspiring other people to know it's important to be able to give. And as educators, we are constantly giving. We give of ourselves to our students, even to their families. Because as I tell people as I taught kindergarten, when one child enters your room, that one child comes with 6 different personalities. And if you multiply that times 25, how many kids do you think you have in the room? Because kids have their own, they're trying to create mama, daddy, stepmama, boo-boo, and all the rest of them. It's just the reality of life, but you learn to figure out, well, who are you going to be today? But I enjoy trying to help other people know, like I said earlier, it's important to give and to share, and that it's a legacy that I'd like to leave with educators, that it's important to give. You're sharing of yourself each and every day, but if you can share a product that you create that has a lasting experience, an opportunity for all to know sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it that really makes the difference.
Love it. Love it. Boy, there's a lot to take away from that, but I'm not going to do the math. 6 times 25. Some math teachers here. I've never quite heard it put that way. That's a really interesting way to think about it. All right, Carrie, tell us what you do and why you do it.
I'm a paraprofessional at an ESC Learning Center. So I work I've been there 17 years, so I've worked with pre-K kids to young kids to our high school age kids and our adult kids they've graduated and they're transitioning. So what drives me is my kids, to come in, to teach them, to work with them, to see their minds grow because their IQ is low. So they're that of maybe of an infant, a toddler. So just to see them grow and learn and see them light bulb moments.
I love it. That's a great answer. Thank you. And you're in school now pursuing your bachelor's, is that right?
Yes.
And then where will you go? What will you do then?
I will hopefully get a job in the elementary age, work either
If only-
kindergarten, first or second.
If only we knew someone or hundreds of people that could help you. I want to now just shift the conversation towards some of the challenges, especially that you have faced over the last couple of years. We saw the legend Fed Ingram earlier. I saw him speak, and yeah, I've never seen someone so happy to be back in Florida. But I thought that Fed used a great word earlier that I wanted to use. I had to look it up, but the word to describe the last couple of years, given everything that's happened, was it's untenable. And what I heard when he said that was, it's almost like forgive yourself for all the challenges. There was no pathway ahead of us. Nobody knew, and still nobody knows what to expect when teaching through a pandemic. And so I just thought we could take this portion of the conversation just to kind of commiserate, because I'm sure everybody here probably shares and has in common many of the challenges. So we can do kind of a free-for-all here, but anybody that wants to talk about what the hardest challenge has been teaching kids remotely. And do you know that we as parents were helping our kids cheat? Because I was behind the computer screen yelling answers so that my sophomore would get into college. I took full advantage of last year.
Is that why my students were doing that badly?
Yes, because I was telling them the answers, Michael. What has been hard, Michael? What has been hard in the last couple of years teaching remotely, dealing with everything that you've had to deal with here in Florida especially?
Yes, I have students on Zoom with their cameras off, and you can't legislate that they have to have their cameras on. I understand privacy, but it's been just very, very hard to communicate with them. I find just the amount of energy that it took me to teach a Zoom class was exponentially more than teaching in person, and the joy level was considerably less.
Yeah, can only imagine. Can only imagine. I mean, just hard enough to be in the classroom as a teacher. Every single person that's in the classroom with students every day, anytime somebody says something to my teachers, it's always walk a day in their shoes. You wouldn't last 15 seconds. Jorge, what was hard? What's been challenging for you with the new situation that we've been living through?
I mean, every single aspect of education was changed once COVID hit. And it's like it all just came tumbling down. And I think the hardest part for me was like I love having the students in the classroom. And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Michael.
Michael. Can we be friends after this?
Sure.
Okay. All of us. I want to be Facebook friends with you guys. All right. Sorry. So, but after, like Michael said, like not having the kids in the classroom and not being able to see them, like it had its moments where you just had to find a way to kind of push through it. I kind of told my own people that it felt like that, like you had to take on that spirit of whether it was a single mom, single dad, or just a family that they didn't have enough, and you had to make do. Like complaining would get you nowhere, so you just had to make do and get the job done. And that's what I felt like was the most difficult part, was just saying, look, there's only so many things that I can control as their teacher. But if I can show them that I care, that I'll be here at this time, that I'm still trying to teach them, I'm making these phone calls, and even my principal and custodians, everyone saw like, man, this guy's staying late. Like, why are you staying late? I'm like, almost with tears in my eyes. I'm like, because I miss them. Like, I miss these kids. Like, it's while everyone is talking about how, oh, well, you can do online education, but I feel like the real best experience is, it's just like I'm getting emotional here. This experience is the best teacher, and I really feel that a lot of us that went through this and still going through it, we're going to become the most resilient of all people.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, if we can do this, there is nothing that we can't accomplish.
Yeah. Vanessa, would you say that you should retire before a pandemic breaks out, or wait for it and do a few more years?
I would say somebody greater than me knew what I should do, and I followed it. I do feel that it is a real challenge. All I can do is just pray for them each and every day, every moment, every second, because it's just some horrible times. And of course, there are people making decisions who don't know anything about children.
Right.
And it really appears they don't care. Because when someone loses a child, it could be their children. And I don't think people think about that. Any day, it could be you. It doesn't have to be the other person. So I really think it's a challenge. I listen to a lot of people, and sometimes they call me. I just listen to them because they need somebody to listen to them, because they got a lot on their plate.
Can I have your number?
We'll talk later, okay? Some things you don't let everybody know about, okay?
Vanessa, he just wants your jams and jellies. That's all he wants.
Some of the panelists will be doing comedy with me later. Jairus, what about you? I mean, what was, from what's been said or what hasn't been said, what was the toughest thing for you? I mean, especially, working with young kids, I can't imagine.
3 words: kindergartners, COVID, technology. that should sum it up for you. The students at home had laptops, the students in the class had laptops. Everyone was required to be on Zoom. So trying to do special area, to do this and that, and meet back at this time, it would be 15 minutes before a student even came back, and have to get them together. And then you look on students at home, SpongeBob is on the TV in the back, and it's like, well, I need you to pay attention. I need you to pay attention. Just work.
How do you compete with the cartoon? How can a teacher? You can't have a cartoon.
So I will be honest. It was stressful. But at the same time, too, having that support from my school and other faculty and staff, it was honestly helping. There was some days I needed coffee from 8 to 3, and it was stressful. But at the same time, too, you have to build that relationship with your parents at home and in the classroom to say, hey, work with me. Let's get through this. This is an unprecedented time. And still, to this day, it's still hard. But at the same time, too, we're trying our best to continue to be better at what we're doing. Of course, coming off of COVID a little bit, it's kind of getting better. But at the same time, too, it's still kind of a struggle.
Well, I can't believe we're almost out of time here, but I want to, Carrie, same question.
Same with it's with our kids, technology and the parents helping them, and a lot of our kids are technology driven.
Yeah.
So they have the iPads and all that, and then trying to get them to do work, to sit.
Yeah.
It's hard. Even the kids in person, it's wearing the mask. Last year to this year, it's just, and then the uncertain of, having a case in the classroom, all that, just our kids, some of our kids have that fear, and it's trying to, okay, let's not talk about it, let's teach, let's just have fun.
Right. I have so much respect for all of you and everybody that's out here. We got to wrap it up, but I do want to ask one final question, and I don't think we really have time to get everybody's answer. So just anybody who wants to answer, I got to ask Vanessa. Just tell me about a child, any child from your entire career that you want to share with us, that inspired you, that you want to share with us.
I had a little kindergartner, and I had a parent conference. This little young man had a difficulty telling the truth. So I had a parent conference, and I said, you know, Scott has a difficult time because he often misplaces the truth. And Mom says, yes, you're right. So I guess my greatest joy was to constantly communicate with those ones who had difficulty, who misplaced the truth often. And learning to know is not what you say, it's how you say it. And that is something that stays with me, and knowing that you have to be firm, fair, and consistent.
Love it. Love, love, love it. All right. Before we wrap up, does anybody else want to share a story about a child that moved them, or in general, children, before we wrap up? Go ahead, Mike.
Not a child, but 2 of my doctoral students. They all my students know that I'm active in the union. And they know that I'm here. They taught on Zoom today because I'm here at the DA. 2 of my doctoral students from 2 years ago realized that the graduate assistants at FSU in the College of Music were being systemically underpaid. They started the start date too late. They ended the final date too early, so they didn't account for class prep and grading time. These students, knowing that they have the support of the faculty, all of my colleagues are union members, took on our dean with a grievance and won.
Well, we didn't get to talk about the importance of being a member of an organized labor of union, but I think you all know the importance of that, and there's nothing really more important than being together in solidarity with your brothers and sisters. And I just cannot thank you enough. I could talk to you all for another 10 hours. Please give it up for our panel, who is so kind, and give it up for yourself. And let's get Carrie a great job. And thank you guys all very much. I honor all of you. Thank you guys very much for listening to us. And back to Andrew and the panel. Give it up one more time, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you all later.
Let's give it up for our panel. Is my mic not on? Let's give it up for our panel and Pete, Dominick. Wait, 1 second here. All right, Vanessa, go ahead. Can we get Vanessa's mic on?
Off.
There you go.
I'd like to present to Pete for such an outstanding job. A jar of my mango jelly jam.
Aww.
Given.
There's a few people I'd like to thank. Thank you, Vanessa. And I will be sharing this later, COVID safe, anybody who wants a little taste of this treasure. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Pete.